What's up, everybody? It's been a while since I seen you all. I was to post this video since last week, Monday, right? But things start to happen fast and furious. Man, I can blink twice before, boom, fake. Posters all over the place. Constituency office poops up. The jingle, the slogan. Well, I've been involved in advertising a lot of my life. And I gotta be honest about this slogan here. This slogan is what we used to call tamperable. You could tamper with it and turn it into something else, right? Like this. But it's nice to see up in the corner that the BLP logo is still in use. I remember I wrote a jingle for the Barbados Party either back in 1976 or 1981 when the slogan had come out, Better Life for Our People. I remember saying to myself, I don't know who wrote the actual slogan, but I went, that was a real good slogan. I don't think it will ever change at all. In the jingle, I actually added the word to building. So it kind of went, building a better life for our people. I can remember it too. Building a better life for our people. Yeah, man. I don't sing that in so at all, though, you know. Anyhow, man, the party of fluff and optics went down in St. Lucie and held the effect on Checker Hall playing field. Strategically chosen to maximize, you know what I mean? But St. Lucie, the neglected parish of Brumwater, the effect was more actually branded as a picnic rally family day. And apparently it ended up being quite tragic because they had one of the artists that had a track with profanity in it and they had children up on stage singing it and that kind of thing. And I hope that the person responsible for this would have been appropriately reprimanded, yeah? And then lo and behold, Jerome Walcott come and try to absolve the party of all blame. I gaslight people's parents, right? You understand? I was like, what? Look, check it there, though.
Certainly that was not expected. I mean, the party held an event. You have entertainers being paid to perform. I think it is extremely regrettable that it was allowed to happen, but you can't hold the party for responsible for some, I don't know how to describe the parent allowing the child to go on the platform and indeed for the performer to hand the child the mic.
And I said, buddy, if you hire in Luciano, you know you can get conscious reggae, yeah? If you hire RPB, you know you can get street soca. But if you hire artists known for slack lyrics, will you feel you can get hymns ancient and modern? Bruh, donkeys one bar. I mean, like, unbelievable, truly unbelievable, yeah? But the modus operandi of the party is to influence people into thinking that they're the cool party, you know, free fact, everything is effect, and distract them from the realities of the real world. That's how I feel. That to a point where they forget the struggles that they face every single day if to buy food or pay a light bill. So, but everything is a thing, yeah? So next up was the press release that they're going to pave the road. I got the note here, so from Crab Hill to Archers Road, plus pothole fixing in Oxford, Montgate Village, Greenwich's, Content, and Bentham's, along with the drainage works at Rockfield and Well Road. And I said to myself, boy, they need this vote bad, you understand? So when I ignore the people for 4 years and then expect to turn up at election time and make things right, and then as if that wasn't bad enough, the minister responsible for these wars add insult to injury by insisting that the Barbados Labour Party administration had deliberately laid the foundation for permanent infrastructure fixes and now needed the mandate to complete the work. A merciful father. I also talk about bold face. Listen, I miss Alvin talking more than anything else because if he is still running, as a matter of fact, anybody that running down in there now for any opposition party, the Barbados Labour Party will have to buy the whole parish in order for them to win that seat, yeah? People are foolish, you know. So anyhow, there were some fun moments at the Michael Ashley nomination that I had missed, especially the one where Santia Holler for that line, there were opposition that the level of debate was.
Because Michael, you know that when we were in opposition, the level of debate was here. People respected the Speaker of the House of Assembly. People sat when the Speaker spoke.
I remember at that time, I thought to myself that the level of debate in the House of Parliament at that time was more akin to people shouting in a fish market or dinosaur, right? It was abominable. And then I found this clip here.
That the people who were chosen as councillors would have been good, moral, and ethical people in this country, who I would imagine would have been able to get a police certificate because after all, they'd be dealing with the children of this country. But you know what, Mr. Speaker? There's a member on that side from St. James South that he has no morals or ethics. He could not serve as a councillor. He has made all his money from people taking off their clothes. And for somebody to make money for people taking off their clothes could not have any morals, could not have any values, could not be a councillor in this country.
You will cease.
Stop. Let your mother stand.
Remember, you will cease.
He definitely listened. He definitely listened. He didn't keep on going to talk. But I'm gonna be honest, all right. I would excuse the last comment because the aside that was made before that last comment, I would have tell the people the same thing, right? No, Kerry is one of the top men when it comes to platform speaking. Kerry is what we call a platform bully. The man's called a platform bully, right? Biting and hard hitting. Belgians love that. And when it comes to riding up a crowd and thing, he ain't got no equal. Maybe people, but Kerry's a bad man at that. So I can tell you, I edited this clip, so don't have to join edit the clip. I edited the clip so y'all can see the person's name that he mentioned and then the comment that was made. All right, check it out.
R.A.T. Ralph Anthony Thorne tells you the contempt that he has for ordinary people in Barbados and his lust for unrivaled power.
So I stopped right there and I said, well, hold on, buddy. Y'all call 2 snap elections, right? One in the middle of COVID that disenfranchised about 6,000 people. Now you call another one here. So I don't know what y'all talking about, yeah? 2 snap elections. If you want to play, you know, y'all feel there's a game that you call a snap election and tell the opposition, ha ha ha, I catch you. You know what I mean? You playing with the future of the country and you think that that's a joke to call a snap election and that is something good and then telling the opposition that they ain't ready? Hi boy, I tell you, you know, there's a clear sign that it's just a game, right? And the objective of the game is for y'all to win at all costs. Y'all don't care about nothing else, I tell you. Anyhow, maintaining power is what really matters to y'all. Nothing else, 8 years on a pension for life. When people go, I work till the, I don't know, by the time it's done, I don't know, Colin Jordan might carry it up to 78 or 90. I don't know. We really need to change our system of governance as a matter of urgency, right? Set fixed terms. Put an end to this snap election foolishness. Stop playing with the electorate like if we're pawns on a chessboard. And then walk about talking about bringing in observers. You mean observers for the season or observers for the day? Because if you want to impress me, bring them in right here now and let her walk through the constituencies when you night come and thing and see the wash pan and money that pelting out, right? That would impress me. Bring them in, bring them in, bring them in. You know, I spent the last week trying to determine what it was that brought me to the point that I feel the way I feel, and I feel so strongly about it. And it is the word trust kept coming back to my mind all the time. And this party has broken my trust a while back, and I believe it started here. Because trust is like glass, and once broken, it will never be the same.
There is no change to the flag. There is no change to the name of Independence Day.
Now that was followed by this.
The Cabinet of Barbados took the decision to henceforth observe November 30th as Barbados National Day.
Well, I went ballistic on social media, and then it was reversed. But I was taught always to pay close attention to words. You see this part here? Have a look. It is clear that now is not the time. Now that means that there will be a time, just not now, right? And then last year, boom, I see this here pop in my feed. So what? Independence and Republic Day? You know, I cannot for the life of me figure out why we had to have Republic Day on Independence Day. You know, and then I saw somebody posted about the manifesto being a binding document, and there was a contract for them to give their vote for. And I went, well, that's an interesting concept. So I went and looked at the 2018 and 2022 manifestos and see how things went. But they were planning to build a few islands and peninsulas off the west and south coast. Okay, then they said it would prohibit the central bank from printing money. I wasn't sure if this had been done, but AI said that it had restricted rather than forbade the printing. Okay. They said they would start reviewing acquisitions and would pay when resources became available. What? So this led me to then check the file recently that gone against Savvy. And it is quite hard to believe that a venue that offers recreation, space for vendors, beach access, and car parking is being compulsorily acquired by the government to provide recreation space for vendors, beach access, and car parking. I don't know what to say. Digital ID, no thanks. Free Wi-Fi would have been awesome. Not quite getting the digitizing the dollar part. Hoping it doesn't mean eliminating cash. Banks already do digital transfers, so maybe this was a precursor to BIM-Pay, which is something that I don't get neither, because if people can already do transfers and things through their banks, why would I want to download BIM-Pay for the government to be all up in my business? Don't make any sense. Houses, oh Lord. Well, they had promised 10,000 houses in 5 years. You know how many houses that work out to be a day? Anyhow, when you do the calculations, they have showed 1,600 houses built so far. And they promised 10,000. So as of today, they owe 6,400 houses. Anybody could tell me where they are, I would like to see them, yeah? And don't count the ones that work, but don't go there. All right. So cybersecurity. Between you and me, right? I feel like everybody in this department is totally out of their depth. Okay? Bear talk, because over 30 departments being hacked. How about people at some?
Wow. Wow.
And this was made worse by then comments from the minister at that time, Davidson Ishmael, when Neil Harper had made some suggestions, and Mr. Ishmael referred to him as a social media commentator. Right? And for your information, Niall is one of the top cybersecurity experts in the world. But it's okay. You call you a social media commentator. This one here, but this didn't go well at all. In fact, things in our country have never been worse in this regard. VAT back down to 15%. Well, nothing to say on that. So I see the central bank governor now coming and warning against VAT cuts. But I remember the former governor of the central bank, Courtney Blackman, once said that the bank governor is a creature of the prime minister. Now said. Corruption. This one here, look, still not proclaimed and will never be under this government. They haven't disclosed their assets in 8 years, and the bribers laughing. And then I saw this here. Most of all, the BLP is prepared to be held accountable for its actions and decisions.
You hear lie? That is lie. Lie? You hear lie? Teacher Percy said if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die.
Now, people are rightfully very concerned with the ridiculously high cost of living in Barbados. And the excuse that usually is given is along the lines of, well, it happening everywhere else. But we are the 5th most expensive place to live in the world. You understand that? We're the 5th most expensive place in the world, and consistently ranked as the highest in the Caribbean. The nearest person to us is Jamaica, 25 points lower, followed by St. Vincent, Trinidad, St. Lucia, Antigua, Grenada, and Dominica down at the bottom at 92. Yeah? All I know is that when I get the grocery, right, they got enough times I pick up an item and I holler for, what not so I ain't paying that money? And I know that never want to go do that too. So, nor does it help that we got a bloated government. Biggest government ever. 30 parliamentarians, I think 19 ministers plus 4 non-elected, a baruffle of consultants that all up in with, back in 2020, it was something like $47 million a year or whatever it was. I can't imagine what that would cost now, yeah? And as we know, we ain't gonna find out because this government is transparent as mud, right? That's my saying. So, thank you. Then I noticed recently that Paradise Beach was once again in the news, and I went, "Oh, Paradise Beach! I remember that, boy. That was Clearwater, and what was the other term that they had with it? It was something else. Man. Let me see. I had the files here. So the government had invested $124 million, and the Prime Minister was a lawyer at one point. Now the Auditor General's report subsequently revealed that $124 million was written off, but Minister Strawn had denied that it was written off because the Prime Minister was the lawyer involved, and all he could do is, okay, well, I guess that puts it to rest, no big thing. But then, speaking of write-offs, don't forget the $1.3 billion that the write-off from national insurance. You feel that not going to have an impact on the country, all right? And he mentioned of the Auditor General, right? Now, when he retired, the post is still unfulfilled, right? But the post is still unfilled. But when he left it in a blaze of revelation. Trust me, from all back in 2021, he had warned against government financial impropriety around the same time as the Clearwater Four Seasons issue. He expressed concern about instances involving millions of dollars in taxpayers' money wrapped up in transactions that lacked full disclosure, were not fully accounted for, were misstated, understated, lacked supporting documentation, or could not be verified. Lord have mercy. He raised significant concerns regarding a lack of support and cooperation from government entities, hindering the transparency and accountability of public finance. He also called for tighter laws to penalize public officers and government officials who refuse to cooperate with his office. This cry was repeated for 4 more years, involving Lord alone knows how much money. The outlined area here states that significant amounts of public funds have gone unverified, with reports highlighting instances of over $2.3 billion in unaccounted for funds and $1.5 billion in unverified expenditures. I have no words, none. But my mind was blown even further a few days ago when the Director of Public Prosecutions, Alistair Seal, stated that there are hitmen in Barbados who are killing people for $3,000. Now, I know enough of things I might say might put my life at risk, yeah? But sometimes in life, things that God has said, God has said. I don't know if to be sad or if to be angry, but I know that this has been coming for a long time, right? The outgoing Attorney General, probably the worst that we have ever had in the history of the country, is on record of saying that crime is not a quick fix. I understand that, but it's 8 years. How much longer you want, right? He also used to refer to multiple killings as spikes, yeah? Spike, and not an indication that Barbados had descended into a state of chaos or outright lawlessness. Now, I've been trying not to curse the whole year, right? But somebody could tell me what he mean by that, really? Because if we ain't on the border of outright lawlessness, then somebody tell me where we are. Because this government has overseen, I think, in the region of 315 murders since they've been in power. 315. Last year, we had 49 murders with a 280,000 population, more than the city of Toronto, right? That got 3.2 million people. They only had 38 murders. And then this government is more concerned about passing laws that is restrict or infringe upon our rights, yeah? A lot of them, don't get tired, a lot of them, if you know exactly what I'm talking about, is bring the law and try to sneak it through with all kind of flaws in it, and then gotta wheel it back. And then they praise themselves about how many laws they pass and this and that. Well, it's about 300, I checked, about 300 laws and bills that they pass, right? And that ain't nothing to praise yourself about, because I am reminded of the words of Tacitus, right? Check this here. The more numerous the laws, the more corrupt the government. You know what he's talking about. So let me state this clearly, and I will read this. My conscience would never let me vote for this government in this election. This is not a judgment on anybody who does. This is not an attack on BLP supporters. This is just me saying that when presented with the facts that I have, I will not vote for this government. As I said, I find it's a government of fluff, buzzwords, acronyms, catchphrases, a government that feels entitled to spend the people's money however it wishes with no questions asked, no transparency whatsoever. And when questioned, they respond in attack mode and attempt to belittle citizens who ask these questions. That's a fact. I have friends who point to the financial aspects of the government's achievements, and I say, all well and fine, all well and fine. But if we continue on the path that this government is leading us, all the financial achievements in the world will not save us from tumbling further and closer to anarchy. Believe that too. We have a good police force. Let them do their job. You know, most of all, already know how y'all can vote. But what I want you to do, right, is ask yourself why you're going to vote that way. Because I would bet money that 99% of y'all watching this here right now, when y'all first voted, y'all voted for the party that your mother and father told you to vote for. I would bet money on that. And that is all well and fine. But as we get older, you learn, or you should learn, to check the people that are in the parties, the policies that they will present, the trust. You see, trust, that was my word, and that was what has brought me against this government. Trust. I have no trust. I'm sorry. I have the reasons for it. The reasons are right there, and I don't. That is my right. It's your right to believe in them and to vote for them, right? But any government that could spend millions to build something like this, right? And don't even tell the people how much it costs, because when that Carry Festival come, you all can hold your head and bawl. But when you could take up millions of dollars and build something like that, while poor people live in houses like this, and this, and this, you can't ask me to vote for that. You know, and then finally, a few interesting photographs popped into my feed. More than likely because of the algorithm is set up and I click on spiritual things, right? So you all have a look. Nothing in life happens by accident. Have a look and see if any of these quotes give you any insight into what is right and what is wrong in life and the way that we should live our life. So stay safe, vote however you want, because that is your right, and everybody should respect your right. I'm not telling you how to vote. I respect everybody. I respect people who vote for the Barbados Labour Party, for Democrat Labour Party, for Friends of Democracy. And I know some of the things I've said might upset people, yeah, but that's not my intent. But there are times in life that it is better to walk alone than to walk with a crowd going in the wrong direction. Think for yourself, because the storytellers have already decided the way in which they want you to perceive their story. I love you all. Bad, be good, and let's have a good election. See you all.